Good morning. So, this book this week is called This Way, Charlie. And the sentence says, Do you see, do you get scared of things that you can't see? Jack asked Charlie. And if we look at the end, it does have a period, like it's a declarative sentence. But that being said, most of the most important stuff in here, other than saying that um, Jack asked Charlie, is actually a question. And we can see a question mark. So that would mean that this, I'm going to call this, just because we have so few of them, I'm going to call it interrogative. And that word that's close to it is like interrogate, like police do when they're trying to solve a crime. Interrogative. I think I'm missing an R. I think it's a double R, but it's like the word interrogate. Interrogative. And so we'll look and see. It says, do you get scared of things that you can't see? Jack asked Charlie. So let's go through and find all of the people, places, or things. So do you, it is kind of like a person, but it's replacing the name for the person. So that's actually going to be our pronoun. Do you get scared of things? Okay, things are things, right? It's not being very specific. This is a plural noun. You, once again, that's a pronoun because it replaces the name of the actual noun. You can't see. Jack asked Charlie. Okay, Jack is a person, so it is uppercased. That means it's capitalized. So this is a proper noun. He asked Charlie. Also a name of a person, so that is a proper noun. So we've got a lot of nouns in this sentence. All right, so if we start going through, we're going to find actions. So do, okay, that's kind of a complicated one. I would see where some of you would pass over the word do and think that it's not a verb, but doing something is an action, is a verb. So we're going to call it a verb, but there's a special word called an auxiliary, which means like an extra verb, which means we can't just say it by itself. There needs to be another verb somewhere in the sentence. So we're going to call it auxiliary verb. An auxiliary verb. That's not one that in 4th grade or 3rd grade you are required to know. So you don't have to worry about whether or not you know the word auxiliary. But just do recognize that do is a verb. It's showing a little bit of action. Do you get scared? Okay, getting is a verb. And scared is also a verb. Because it's the action of becoming scared. Of things that you can't see. Seeing is also a verb. It's an action that people do, or in this case, don't do. And then Jack asked Charlie. Well, asking is another verb. Specifically a past tense verb. And that's because of the ed at the end, which also means that scared with the ed at the end is sort of past tense. All right, let's look at the words that we don't have marked yet. We have of, can't. That's all. So of is a preposition. It's one of those that I just keep encouraging you guys to memorize. Preposition. It's showing the positioning of things to the fear, I guess you could say. And then down here we have can't. It has an apostrophe, which means that it's either going to be a possessive word, where it shows that something belongs to something else. Does see belong to can? No, it does not. So this is going to be a contraction. That combines two different words. And the two different words that are being combined are can and not. Cannot see. All right, so we have identified all of the parts of speech. Now, we didn't dig deeper into can and not, but we know that's a contraction, so I'm fine with that. It's important for us to recognize contractions too. So let's start trying to decide the sentence structure. Okay, is this simple? Is it complex or compound? To me, it's a little tricky. Like, if we're just looking at Jack asked Charlie, that's definitely simple. This is a question. It says, do you get scared of things you can't see? There's not a conjunction that joins the two different parts of the sentence. There's not a separation between them where part of it is dependent and the other part is independent. So I'm just going to say, even though there's almost two parts of it, we're just going to call this simple. And then that being said, just to make it easy on us this week, let's focus on Jack asked Charlie for our subject and predicate. So what is the predicate? That's the action that's being done. It's the asking. And there's two names on either side, so we need to figure out who did the asking. Did Charlie do the asking or did Jack do the asking? It was Jack. So Jack asked. All right, we got it all done. Ooh, wait, actually there's one last thing that I was going to mention, and it's the quotation marks, because we still need to work on our quotation punctuation, our dialogue punctuation. So what is being said out loud is, do you get scared of things that you can't see? That's what's being said out loud. So we need to have quotation marks before and after. And then we need to have some sort of punctuation in front of our quotation marks because we're leading into the rest of the sentence, which is the tag, Jack asked Charlie. And so our punctuation this time is a question mark because that's a full question and we need to show that it's a question. We would not put the question mark at the end over here. Do you get scared of things you can't see? Jack asked Charlie. If you put the question mark down here, then you would have to change the way that you're saying it, and that doesn't make any sense at all. So the question mark belongs with the quote, but we still need to make sure that this is ended too. So we need to have a period at the end of the sentence as well. All right, there you go, guys.